You can be hurt and still feel joy. You can be annoyed and still feel joy. Me, where I feel like I am afflicted in joy is I often let my circumstances dictate my emotion, which means I feel more happiness than joy. Joy is one that I don't have maybe as big of an affliction with, but I know there are moments where I catch myself kind of spiraling, and then I've learned the tools of how to remind myself of that joy, to renew my hope and faith in the Lord, to pray and thank Him and make a list of all the things that He's already brought me through. Remember all the situations He's brought me through. And even if I'm still feeling away, I'm human, but at the same time, I can feel away and also feel joy. When that comes to the aspect of being a parent and a wife, there are so many like small, just day-to-day things that causes you to feel overstimulated, overwhelmed. You start to feel like this is too much. Like I'm not happy because I'm weighed down. I'm not happy because I feel like too much is going on. I'm not happy because I feel like I can't catch a break. I'm not happy. When you think about it, happiness is temporary. A lot of times I catch myself dwelling in the unhappiness, and then I have to be like, wait a minute. I have joy because I know that this is temporary. That's why anchor scriptures are so important. I have to remind myself of God's words to be like, you know what? Even though I'm feeling this deeper than what I'm feeling right now, I still feel a sense of peace because I know my God is going to come through. I've seen Him come through in impossible situations before, so I know He'll do it again. So I might be feeling stressed out right now, but I have to remember that God always keeps His promises. So that's when joy comes in. For me, I've learned that I remember my joy when I dwell on the word. I remember my joy when I listen to worship music. I remember my joy because at the end of the day, everything that I'm living in is an answered prayer. I played this fool. I remember a time where I prayed for my plate to be this way. So it's like, how can you get what you prayed for, and then when you get it, you get overwhelmed and then forget that you're supposed to plug into the source, forget who gave it to you, and forget that that's where your strength comes from. I have joy because I remember a time this wasn't like this, and I have joy because even though I'm stressed, God always comes through. I think that's so important as far as being a wife and a mom, because there are going to be circumstances that hit you left and right out of nowhere. And if you can't remember that God is at the center, if you can't remember to find the joy, you start to let all these emotions settle, and then they fester, and then that's where distance comes in. That's where resentment comes in. And there's no joy at that point. I think it's important to always remember that joy is connected to hope and faith.